There's at least 19 deer in this up close field. And over by those woods over there, there's at least another 10 or 15. was cold and hard the other morning, and I probably had a 25 bale hay sale, maybe it was 30, I kind of lose track, but not a lot of weight, and the Dodge was slipping on this ground. Now right now I'm driving on the edge of the field, and you know, we use the hay trailers for hay storage when the barn loft or the barn floor gets full. Now this year, I like tripled the amount of hay storage available to us by cleaning out all those manure, old pens, taking down the walls and opening up the main floor. I know I'm going very slow because I want to film and run the tractor, and I don't want to lose my balance load. So the way that you can do it well, if you aren't familiar with loading hay, I made a video, I guess this spring with the Dodge, and it was talking about loading hay and strapping them down. So if you use the sides of your wagon or your truck bed, then you can bump it out one bale wider by putting your second layer of bales facing out. Then you basically created another 12 inches or so of space, which works out really well for the hay sales. So rather than have somebody drive along the edge of the field or get stuck in the mud holes that's supposed to be our driveway, no, we still haven't gotten to gravel yet. I don't know what happened to that guy. There's another job going on locally, and he's the gravel pit owner. He also is the operator, and he has to load all these sand trucks that are leaving his place to go to a construction site. So he hasn't had time to come down. The sand is settled, and I'd like him to bring some more sand to build it up higher, just so that it's not holding the water. If you've seen our floods in our front yard, there used to be trees in a house and very, very low spots. So I want it to be raised up before he brings the gravel anyway, so it's fine. And it's not his gravel trucks and sand trucks that are going by, so they can't just quickly drop off a load. I know he does have a helper too, but this is a lot easier to have the hay buyers just come up to the front of the property and just load them directly off of the truck or the trailer, because surprisingly a lot of them cannot back up their trailers. They end up jackknifing it, have a difficult time. So here I can have somewhat of a turnaround for them, and when I plan it just right, I can park right up here next to the pigs so they can turn around in the side yard, and it allows me to stand on this hay pile and directly load them. Now if they don't show up, what do you do with your load of straw or hay that got left behind? Always set your brakes on your tractor when you stop. So in the rare case that you get a hay buyer that is finicky, or their horses are finicky or colicky, I can back this right into the hip roof barn and have the load just ready for the next hay sale. This time of year, the hay auctions are doing very poorly. Farmers don't have any hay left to take in. And they're knowing that whatever farmers have, any, fussy animals are going to kind of have to contend with. So like the last of my hay that we're selling now was when we were having a drier season, and it's not as green as it was when it was baled. It's had some bleaching out, and it's just not as beautiful a second cutting as it once was. Now cows, sheep, goats, pigs, they're a lot less finicky. I have seen hay sales locally on Craigslist where people have had abandoned barns left with hay, and they're selling off hay that's 3, 4, 5 years old, dusty and whatever. Well, once you get past that top layer, and I guarantee you that top layer is going to be coated in raccoon manure. We've been going through it. I just throw those off for the pigs. Sometimes you can kind of just, it'll fall off, but if they're wetting on it, it's moldy and musty, and the horse people just don't want it. So the best way to handle my hay sales, I usually ask them what they're feeding. If they're going to have a fussy horse to feed, I don't want to waste their time or my time to have them come out thinking that they're getting beautiful green lush stuff that was just cut when it's been up in the barn for 6 months and cut during a dry season. Now, this bale of hay is what I would call a B grade bale, and rather than try to sell it to a hay customer, we are using it for our own cattle or for the pigs. You see this little dark section right here on the edge? The very sides of the trailer where it is riveted on the roof have a very slight leak. So any bale that I pull out of the bottom right away, it's usually a little damp. I put it aside, it dries. You know, any animal should eat that just fine. I was having trouble because I don't have my standard knife. I've got this Columbia knife that's an all multi-tool, and it's sharpen them like they do utility knives. They're always handy little gift sets. Hear these pigs? Hear them? Hi! So tonight is one of the coldest nights this week, and next week is going to be cold. I've been trying to give these pigs ample bedding to keep them warm and dry at night, because I'm sure laying in a old steel drum is going to conduct the coldness to them, but it's better than being on the wet ground. And I tell you, this is the driest it's been in a while. They're still sinking and whatever, but the top layer froze a little bit. We'll give them a little bedding over there and they'll be happy. And did you know, pigs will even eat grass hay too. They'll eat this. It's got alfalfa and clover in it. This being an earlier cutting, it's mostly grass with some alfalfa, but they do chew it up. They don't tend to swallow it so much. They chew it up and spit it out, but they get mouthful of it and they make themselves a nice nest. I know I haven't shown you guys the pigs in a while. We're always busy doing stuff, and it's always just quick updates, but that's the boar. That's one of the gilts. That's the sow. And there's another gilt over there. And as you can see, what they did, the girls were in heat on that side, and he got a bit rambunctious about it, and he bent that top, and he kept working on that cattle panel that was tack welded to the front of that until it came off. He's over there seeing about her now. Now, one of them looked like she was in heat last month, and they've been together commingled now for about 2 months. So we figured we would end up with late December, early January babies if they did get bred. And if they are bred, I'm needing that space in the barn. So having the hay sales going on, I'll have some hay sold in time to rebuild their pen area for them. I did leave, the main walls, but it's just a matter of putting up one section of cattle paneling to keep them out of the hay. So this is the inside of a dry van or semi-trailer. And like you can see here, you just get that little bit of wetness. Now these I just turned over today, and they were sitting here. We're not even seeing like a lot of water damage. This slight discoloration it's not soft or anything. It appears to be that it's just the plywood. So you can see the metal studs of the side of the trailer. It's pushed out, but right where those rivets are up there, I'm gonna have to climb the trailer at some point before it gets refilled and go ahead and fill that with caulking. And it's not even every seam, it's just here and there. So we're wondering if it's like in this case, there's new screws put in. So I'm kind of trying to pay attention to where the marks are, and I've been trying to go through and make chalk marks. Now the raccoons have gotten in here and they'll get stuck and they'll try to climb down to get out. Well, this year I haven't found any dead raccoons in here. The year before last I found live raccoons, and we're still kind of yet to figure out how they're getting in. So be aware if you do store your hay like this, It's a lot cheaper than buying a barn, and your barn hay or straw is going to have raccoon poop in it too. But for some reason they like to travel along the outer edge. That is a pile of poop up there. And it has got yucky mold growing on it. It's disgusting. So I have a big hay hook that I use, and I pull the top layer down and step back. And, you know, it's not a bad idea to wear a dust mask. So I try to have that top layer cleaned off as far back as I need to if I'm direct loading with a customer present. But we have got probably, it's hard to say even. I can see the back of the trailer. There's probably 3 more rows of hay back there, and I think it's 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4. It's 6 by 6 bales, so 36 bales on end. And we had figured out with most of the trailers that we have with the dimensions of them, if we put them on their strings, they were more likely to have mouse damage, and we could only get 5 across. So we started packing them this way, and it really helped a lot. So if any of this information helps you, that's great. So like here's a bale I pulled out. See, very, very slight discoloration. It's totally dry, but you know, for what we're charging for our hay, I don't want to give that to a customer and say, here, take it. Hay auctions are like a supreme way for farmers to get rid of bad hay. They'll put some lesser quality bales in the center of a stack. So if you go to the hay auctions at all, keep an eye out for that. A lot of times, if you look through your hay stack after the fact, like as you're loading it, you might find a business card for the farmer in it because they're trying to get direct sales. So keep an eye out for that, because if you do want to know who your producer is, you know, you just might be able to find out if they're trying to slip a business card in there and cut out the auction man. So I've just been throwing bales like that into their little hut, and it gives them a spot to be for dryness, and then if they don't like the hay that I'm feeding them, they nibble on it. Now they're eating the last, right now they're eating oats. They're eating the last of that pile that was sweating so bad, and we had it stacked 4 rows high, and there was some pretty green hay from this area here that was second cutting that didn't have as much time to dry, and it had started to rain. So those bales were sweating under the tarp, and they got all this mustiness about it, and they don't smell great. But these Holstein cows, they're not like horses. They're kind of garbage disposals, and they'll clean things up. Their stomachs can handle it with them having the 4 different stomachs to digest everything. And then from the hay trailer, everything that's falling apart, the raccoon manure or scat, it all gets spread in the garden. If it's totally unusable, bales that have been broken, just bits that have fallen apart. This was a half a manure spreader fluffed up full, and it got rained and snowed on a little bit, and I said, why even bother going out and spread it? Let's throw it on the rhubarb. It's done for the season. We've had our frost and our snow, so that's going to pack that all in and help me with some weed control for next year. So whether it's hay sales, hay storage, garden maintenance, I might have an answer for you. If you've got a question, leave a comment down below. I always check my comments and try to answer any questions I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll ask him, and we'll get you an answer one way or another. So that's it for today, everybody. I got to finish feeding the animals. The pigs still need a little bit of work, and I've got a hay customer on the way. So as much as you like to see everything, we'll leave them out of it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.